Welcome to the Aman Talks. This show is all about giving you the ideas to help you live a prosperous life. I have Aish Moitra joining me today. She's a wellness coach and an author. She has a background in business administration and psychology. She's here to share her wisdom on how to beat stress and achieve inner peace. Welcome, Aish. Thank you for joining the conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. Do you just want me to start?
Oh yeah, I mean, we can start from your journey from the beginning. That how did you end up becoming a wellness coach? What was the motivation behind?
Okay. So I thought that I will actually start from my birth because I'm going to keep it short. I'm not going to
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
put,
sure, no problem.
but it's important to know how it drove me to become a wellness coach. So during my birth, like when the things I remember is like we were in a very well-to-do family. We had a nice big house. Our parents, like it was very calming, loving. Everything was there. Whatever we needed, our parents would bring us. And so I have seen really highs and then extreme lows in my life. So what happened was, so a couple of years went by, everything was great and everything was going good. And then there was this massive disaster, a flood happened. In this, we lost our house.
Oh
Uh, we lost properties. Both of my parents, they lost their jobs. Like we were pretty much homeless. That's how big. And this is when I was like about 6, 7 years old. Okay.
wow.
So at that time, obviously, I didn't understand, but all these repercussions, what happened was my parents, they had to move in with their family, like their parents, to start up the life again, right?
Yeah.
Because before we used to like travel, they used to take us everywhere, and I don't believe they saved, they were just like splurging.
Yeah.
So when this happened, it was like a big eye opener. After that, there were some other things that happened in my life. Like we were in foster care for a while. I've seen mental illness in my family.
Oh wow.
Living with like, and this is like clinical. You need
Oh
to have medication every day. People like that. So it's like, oh my God, it's been all over the place. And then we moved to another country, Canada, and going through the cultural shock, settling here, right? Then I had a relationship with this person, and it was a narcissist personality. So
oh
it was just like I had so much background knowledge in all these issues. So not just like my textbook, but also
yeah,
my personal knowledge.
yeah.
That's what I'm doing, and I'm also writing a book right now. It's a nonfiction book for preteens.
Yeah.
It has so it's basically from a viewpoint of an 80-year-old and how the family revolves, like what he thinks of what's happening around, what he understands. When you have like a child, it doesn't matter how you behave in front of them and you think that they don't understand, or if you're fighting in front of a child and you're like the child doesn't understand, but everything is affecting the child as well. So as parents, you have to be very careful on what kind of environment you're giving the child. That's what my book is about.
You are such an inspiration for others. Now you are inspiring others. So talking about the mental health is a global issue. There
Right.
is a tsunami of mental health problems especially after this pandemic.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about the book. Talking about the book, which 5 books you can recommend everyone should read?
So usually what I do is I don't go by books. What I do is I recommend whatever your favorite genre is. It could be mystery or nonfiction, fiction, horror, romance, whatnot. Choose 5 different genres. So you need to increase like your mental capacity to understand what's going on around you. So don't keep yourself stuck to like a certain genre. You can maybe do 3 books from one, right? Like self-help books, and
Yeah.
then 2 from the others. So diversify the genres. Pick the books from one of each, or 3 from one, 2 from one, something like that. And just keep on, uh, going ahead.
Thank you so much for the recommendations.
Yeah,
You mentioned about the kids. I also feel that when we were small, when we were kids, we
yeah,
didn't have that fear of being judged,
right.
fear of all the labels, all the opinions.
Yeah,
And as you said, that it does affect the kids. I felt myself too. I think we can all resonate with this fact that when we reach 13 or 14, we start entering into the world of comparisons, and then we operate from the belief system which were installed by our environment, and of
yeah.
course the family members as well. So
Mhm.
how did you, from all the negative situations, how did you come out of all that, and then you are inspiration for others now, and you are helping others to overcome of similar situations?
So, how I see it, like either I can be sitting somewhere and crying and thinking that life is hopeless and I should end it, or I can think the other way and that I can move on with this, learn from this, and do something about it. There's not just me who has gone through stuff, right?
Yes.
There have been people who've had like people die in their lives, like their loved ones, especially
Yeah.
in 2020,
Yeah.
and they're going through this healing process. And this is not something that'll go away from your life,
Yeah.
but don't make it the only focal point. That's not where your life should revolve around. It's okay that this happened, but now you need to still live your life. You still need to look to the light, to your goals, and move ahead. Keep that this is it's like let me use like a sports example, right? When you're playing a physical sport and you have some sort of a mark or something to show on your body, right? It doesn't go away, it still stays there, but you
Yeah.
keep on playing, right? So it's just to show that you're part of this life and um, you should take it in stride and move on. um, you will have all the emotions. With time, things will calm down, but you have to make sure that you come out of it. You don't stay there. You're not meant to stay in that past. You have overcome it.
Well said. What has happened, and especially if we don't have control over the things. If you believe in God or universe, just leave on that, because you can control. And why to beat yourself for that?
Right.
And the past has happened. That's why I call it a dead past. And if we still become victims of the past, I feel like, oh, that past is like a dead person. Why are you getting victim again? The universe has done that thing to
Yeah.
teach you a lesson, and you learn that lesson. You don't create the space again. This is the present, and you're creating the space. You're bringing
Right.
the past again in your present,
Yeah.
and this thing is stealing, robbing your future.
Yeah. And if I could add something to that,
Please.
so I'm not sure if people who are following my LinkedIn, I use a lot of metaphors and
Yeah.
analogies, right? So I'm going
Yeah.
to use for if you about past. So let's say all of us, we have been given a book, right? It has 3 pages. The past, which was yesterday.
Yeah.
The middle one is today, present, and the last one is tomorrow or the
Yeah.
future. And with this book, we have been given a small box, okay? In the box, it says control. You can only use it once. So you can either put it in the first page and let the past control your present,
Yeah.
or move it to present and let your present control the future.
Wow.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's so deep, especially as you said, your situation, even, everybody can easily resonate with this,
Yeah,
and we can take the lesson. It's simple. Like, if we are not going back, and why are you focusing what has happened, and why are we beating ourselves?
right,
And that's true. And then I feel like God has given you the present.
right.
It's like you focus here, and then like your present is your future,
Yeah,
and like universe has created that kind of structure that all the problems and the things you faced, you label bad, they were meant to teach you the lesson, so you are more good to prepare for the future.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. And that's the thing. Like when it's in the past, as human beings, we want to know the answers. You know, tell us what's going to happen. Give us an answer. If you don't know the answer, then you're like fidgeting. You're like, okay, I don't know this unknown, right? And that's what the future is. It's not been written yet because it hasn't happened. So you keep on visiting your past because you know it's a comfort zone for you, right? You know what has happened, how things turned out. So you keep on looking back, but you should be learning and then applying the positives into the future because you're in control of your future. Your present goals or whatever you do determines what will happen in the future. So if you're like today, I'm gonna start learning a new skill, that's going to go into the future, right? It has
true.
nothing to do with the past.
And then, plus you said the control.
Yeah,
The control is
yeah,
the right word to say. It's all about control. Once you lose control, you lose the control of life, and anything happens, it
right.
should not affect you. If
Yeah,
you have control, internal control, and you
yes,
know that whatever is happening externally is not going to affect me because I have that internal control. Like that, once you have that internal shift,
yeah,
I say this way, like once you have that internal shift, you can get the external results.
yeah,
You cannot go any higher than what's going on within you. We cannot go any further than the idea in our own minds. I mean, whatever we feel like it's we can control with our internal shift.
right. And think of creative things to do, like um, when the people were thinking about flying, right, in 1905 or whatever year that was, um, would people think they would think that this is such an crazy idea that we could fly,
Yeah,
right? Somebody had the idea and they kept on trying, um, and it happened. So focus where you want your energy to go to, and if you can imagine in your head, you can do it,
yeah,
but you just have to make sure that you don't stray from that path.
yeah. No, that's true. Imagination is the key, and if we look back,
Yeah,
uh, anyone who achieved a big success, they were not afraid of the criticism.
yeah,
They had the idea, they had that self belief. I feel that if people are criticizing me, or
yeah,
if those who are listening us, if someone is criticizing you, it doesn't mean you're going to fail. It's your idea. The God
yeah,
has gifted to you, and no one else can expect it to see it because it's your idea. And then it's like fitting in. If I see, okay, if someone is going to not like my idea,
hmm,
then okay, so should I fit in?
it's their problem.
And
You
then, yeah,
worry about
sorry.
what they're
Yeah,
thinking. Yeah,
yeah. And then I see, okay, you know what? If all the people who made big in the
yeah,
history, they went against the odds, and the most important thing was the belief.
hmm,
They did it even in spite of not having proper education. They did it, and
exactly.
the most important thing was to have that determination. And it all started with the idea, with the
Yeah,
imagination.
yeah,
That's it. And they protected that idea. They didn't care about anybody. And I feel like I grew this way, that I was feeling like others, like, oh, I'm different. I mean, I have different questions, different imagination. So we are living in a society where we are programmed to be the same.
yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. It's our environment. It's how we are brought up, right? So we have to make sure that we need to do a lot of unlearning,
true.
right? Unlearning and then learn. Okay, this is what works for me. I have these questions, but when I was growing up, nobody answered for me because probably they didn't know or they thought this was a silly idea. Like, why are you asking these questions, right? So your creativity gets dimmed down because you're
Yes.
supposed to focus on the lane and just do the same thing as the rest of the students in the class or whatever your teacher says. And but not everybody is the same, and we should encourage that in the children, in the future generations.
Yeah, that's true. I grew up this way too. It's all about the curiosity. The kids, You should answer with the logic. I mean, it's good they are asking questions, they are excited. At least give the answer with the logic.
That's right.
I mean, don't, as you said, that don't discourage them. Don't discourage them to be different. And I think this is the main reason people are more stressed these days. They are in the comparison world because society is not accepting it the way, you know, again, the belief system has been for the years that, oh, we have to, coming to the next question about this acceptance, I think all the human beings have this need to be accepted. And the biggest fear is rejection. What are some of the ways we can overcome rejections and the fear of being rejected?
Okay, so it's a very good question. Everybody has this intrinsic need to feel accepted and valued in the society, right? Whether in school or in your adult life. I do have an example for that. So this is not to put anybody down. Let me just say.
Yeah.
So when we moved countries and I went into my first school, it was like 6 to grade 12. I recall that in that school, there was exactly 2 kids that were brown. It was me and then this other guy who was in the basketball team. And then there were 2 black kids. One girl, she was a senior, and the other guy was in the basketball team too. That's it. So the reason I bring this up is the months that I was in that school, nobody talked to me. I did not have a single friend. And I'm not an introvert person. I'm an ambivert, so I have those qualities of introvert and as well as an extrovert. So I don't stay, like, if it's a social setting, I like to talk to people, right? So I did try in things, but it just, I wasn't sure what was the reason.
Yeah.
So I remember that when it was lunchtime, right before lunchtime, I used to have this class. It was like social studies, I believe. And there was this wonderful teacher. She was in her 50s, and she was teaching me because I needed to learn about Canada and whatnot, right? So it was just a one-on-one class. And so I used to be in that room by myself, and it was like a library, right? There were books around. She's like, do your reading, learn as much as you can. And then when it was lunchtime, I didn't know what to do because I was by myself. There was nobody to like talk to me. So I would just she would be like, eat your lunch here. Don't worry about it. So I'm like, okay, this is the only place. So I stayed there. And then one day, this black girl, she came in one day and she's like, do you want to go to the mall? And I was like, sure, why not, right? Like, it was like, okay, something's happening. So unfortunately, I don't remember her name, which is the worst part because I think her kindness really made a difference in my life at that time because of the rejection I was going through. And so what happened was she told me 2 things, which at that time I was like, why? Why are you telling me this? I really want to explore life. But she told me, so first was like, make sure you don't sleep with a senior. I was like, okay. And then the second was like, don't do drugs.
Okay.
So in school, it's very prevalent.
Yeah.
In that age.
True.
You don't know what's right or wrong. And especially like with family, both of my parents were doing like 2 jobs. There was nobody to like stop me, right? So, and I had no idea if this was right or wrong. But I think she stayed with me until I was done that school year, and just being that kindness that I don't know how to explain, but it really affects. She was just a sweetheart. So that one person made a big difference.
Wow.
Could have done many things and taken a different route in my life because I was getting sad and I was not understanding why people were behaving differently with me. At that time, I didn't understand what discrimination meant or anything, right? As a kid, you don't understand that until you face it. So what I chose to do was when I used to come home, I used to find odd jobs like walking the dog, babysitting the neighbor's kids, reading stories, things like that. And I also started to do watch lot of like old movies, read lots of books. So I tried to learn new skills. I tried to not new, but I should say update myself.
Yeah.
And I wanted to really make sure that my typing speed was good.
Hmm.
So things like that. Like that's where I immersed my energy to words, right? So I kept myself busy with all these things instead of going and starting to
Hmm.
do drugs or anything. Like I don't know what could have happened. So I think she really made a difference and made sure I don't do something that I would regret later.
Wow, that's very interesting to know. And I
Yeah.
think the biggest lesson for those who are watching us is that rejections are just redirections, and this is just about your perspective, how you look at the things. And I can give them one exercise to do from your story, that look 5 years back
Mm-hmm.
and check if the rejections you faced made you a better person, made you a better professional,
Mm-hmm.
and you will be surprised to see that the rejections or the problems you faced,
Yeah.
which you labeled bad,
Yeah.
actually turn out to be good after a while. I can
Yeah.
bet on that. And so don't rush to label the things, the problems or your rejections. Instead, see what is in there for you to learn. And what you did, you have become such an inspiration for others now that you're helping others.
Thank you so much. I hope so. I would hope that we can continue to help other people, right? And inspire them to be the best that they can be, because we have so much potential in each one of us. It doesn't matter like what background or
Yeah.
where you're from, it doesn't matter. But you do need to believe that you, so if somebody believes in you, then that becomes stronger for you, that, okay, I am valued and I can do things. So it's you should totally be kind and keep that in your mind. One person can change your life. A piece of kindness can change somebody's life.
True. Again, talking about the belief, one of my favorite biologists, Bruce H. Lipton, he once said that our
Yeah,
beliefs control our minds, control our bodies,
yeah,
and thus control our lives. If I have a belief that I could do something, I get that mental picture in my mind, and my action will be influenced by that mental picture. But if I have that negative mental picture, that belief that, okay, someone told me, well, 10 years back that I could not be good in this thing, which happened. Like I faced
yeah,
bullying, I faced so much negative labeling, but then I was fighting with everybody. They were naming me, they were bullying. Then I realized, like, I knew inside who was I, right? So why I
right,
have to fight with everybody? So once I
yeah,
erased those limiting beliefs, I made that internal shift. I got external results because nobody could influence me anymore. And the same way, like here, rather than introducing doubt, like, hey, someone says something about me, is it true?
yeah,
No, we just
yeah,
get into our belief system, like a virus
right,
in the computer. So then what
yeah,
happens? So you disturbs your belief system, and then you operate from that mental picture that, oh no, someone told me I can't do this thing.
yeah,
So the next question
yeah,
is about, I don't want to name this thing. When you name something, you give power. I'm talking about this pandemic.
yes.
What are some of the strategies you can suggest to cope with the stress, anxiety, and depression associated with this pandemic?
Okay. Um, so what I want to say is, you must have heard of this saying, like attracts like.
Yes,
Negativity attracts negative, and
true.
positivity attracts positivity. So in let's give you like 3 quick steps. Make sure that you have a routine. It doesn't matter how your day is. Journal it out. Make sure you have a routine. So you're accountable for your time.
Yes.
Now you can shift some things, right? You can say that,
Yeah.
oh, from 9 I'm going to watch Netflix and do
True.
this so and so. Make sure if you're doing that, you don't repeat it the next day, because then it becomes a.
Yes.
So you can give a break and then do it again, or make it like 30 minutes instead of doing it for like 3-4 hours. So 3 things are: make sure you make time to include at least one physical activity in your
Yeah.
day. You can do it outside, walk the dog, run, jog, whatever. If you don't have time to go outside, then do it in your home. Just
Yes.
schedule that time, morning or evening, and watch videos, YouTube, and do some exercises. Just move your body. That's very important. That's where the energy will come from. The second is make sure you include some sort of a mental activity. So like
Yeah.
reading books, writing, watching some documentaries, or anything that learning a new skill, music, whatnot. Make sure you include that in your daily routine as well. And the third thing is, when we are going through stress and anxiety, what is the first thing we do? We stop talking. We
Yes.
distance ourselves from people. So we need to make sure that we do not stop our communication, verbal or written.
Yeah.
So every day for 1 hour, practice it. Make a video or talk to somebody on the phone and say positive things. Like, you don't have to share negative things,
Yes.
and talk to them, and then just include that, you know what, talking to you made me feel better.
Yes.
you know so keep that communication open. Do not stop just because you're going through, and it's going to affect and bring you into a positive mindset, and a mindset to keep on going ahead, that don't give up and don't give in to laziness or whatever. Just your day, make sure you have a routine, you're
True.
accountable. Yeah.
You covered very well. You covered gratitude. You covered mindfulness. You covered self-care, and you covered to focus on the positive side of the things. We are social creatures, and we are supposed to be connected, and this distancing thing created a lot of anxiety and stress. And as you said, we at least we should text or email or call our loved ones and check how are they doing.
Yeah.
And so you can share. And then I feel this lockdown, I think this is a sign of the signal of the nature. This is a lockdown, but don't lock your mind. Go
Yeah.
inside, focus on your health, and then you should become out of this mentally more stable and physically more stronger.
That's
These
right.
are great tips.
Yeah, that's excellent what you just said. You need to have gratitude. It doesn't matter if you believe in God, then you thank God. If you don't believe in God, then thank your parents, thank the universe.
Yeah.
You can see the universe, you can see where your food is coming from.
I'm a big fan of your gratitude exercises. I was going through your posts where you were suggesting to stay on your lane and have a gratitude mindset. I just heard that you said write down something.
Yeah, so what I was saying is, write down at least 10 sentences. Now, gratitude is something you have to give to somebody. You
Yes.
cannot give gratitude to yourself. You cannot
Yeah.
say, I'm thankful for looking good. No, don't say it. You have to give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Uh, Positive affirmations are for yourself.
Yes.
Those are things like, I am confident I'm going to get this job. So, affirmations you give to yourself, but
Yes.
gratitude you give to somebody else. That's how it works. The more gratitude you give, the more you get back, and your mental space just becomes so much more positive. If you repeat it every day, it's not something that you do one day at a time, one day and then forget about it. You cannot do that. It's like your morning routine. You have to
True.
include it in there. Yeah, you have to feed your mental space with positivity. So anything positive, keep feeding, keep feeding.
That's true. What you focus, it expands. And
Yes.
what I suggest to others is similar like you. I make it more interesting by, saying that, okay, before you complain, I mean, generally,
Yes.
before you complain, oh, my life is bad, or, the clients and the people who come with a long list. Oh, I have
Yeah.
this problem, I think I don't look attractive, I have gained weight, I think my boss doesn't like me, or or say, oh, my relationship is not working, no one understands
Yeah.
me. So I, again, coming to the point, I feel, oh no, you don't have these many problems. You have just one problem, the belief that you are not enough. And once you have that belief you are enough,
Yeah.
and then I go to the next point, that they complain about or boss doesn't, they don't like their bosses. And so what I tell them, before they complain, write down, say, the good things about their lives. Say they have, they write down 100 things happening in their lives. So then I tell them, okay, write down very good,
Mm-hmm.
which things are very good.
Yeah.
Second level is good, I mean, it's the second level, and third is the worst one. So for example, they come up with 10 or 15 things they don't like at all.
Yeah.
And normally it's 90%, like 90 things are good in their lives. Then I tell, like, those 10 things, out of 10 things, just 3 things are critical, like 7 are not, like, it's their belief, my
Yeah.
boss doesn't like me. It's
Yeah.
just in their head. And
Yeah.
my coworkers don't like me. It's just in
Yeah.
their head, their perspective. The negative tapes keep going on their heads whole day, because once we complain, we are creating that kind of vibes, that kind of energy and space, and we attract more of that. And I can wrap it up in a
Right.
sentence that if I wake up, like, I give this example to many clients and even my friends,
Yeah.
just to change their perspective. I tell them, like, whatever you believe, the universe has many proofs. The universe will give you proof.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. So, negative chatter is something uh, all of us deal with, right? Like we all, like you just said, it can be things like my boss is, he's not liking me, or he doesn't like my work. And if it is important to you, first of all, you need to figure out this negativity, that is this important to you, and if it is, then do something about it.
Yes,
Instead of complaining, focus on doing something about it. Can you fix that issue? Can you find out
true.
what the reason is? What you can do? Can you have a chat? Can you
Yeah,
guys have a meeting, talk
yeah,
about it to solve the issue? And you try from your end, and if nothing works, then you know what to do. You
yeah,
don't, you move your focus from that. You want to go into a different team or
yeah,
department. You
yeah,
feel nothing is working, then you make that choice.
yeah.
You make that choice.
Very well said. People have been in relationships, then after 10, 15 years, they find, oh no, this is not working. The
Yeah.
same thing, it can be in any profession as well. Person stays in the work for 10 years, then he feels, oh no, I did mistake.
Yeah.
And so why you play a role of a victim? I mean, if you have a choice, if you think, oh, I'm not happy, hey,
Yeah.
what I can do, as you said, fix the problem. If you can, I mean, if you have control over, and
Yeah.
once you lose the control, you play the victim role. If you see the option is there, use that option wisely and move on out of the toxic, abusive relationship, or the toxic environment at work.
Exactly. You have to take action. You have to bring
Yeah,
your mindset into bringing an action. And if you need support for that, so you seek out the support. There's
yes,
coaches, there are mentors, there are guides, and they are very good at helping you out, right? They have been through these things, and they have learned and studied, and
true.
they apply this in their daily life. So it's something that if you find that you have tried everything, it doesn't work, but now you want to ask somebody, seek somebody's support, and see if it's going to work out, you can give that a try. until you go through all your options,
Yes.
don't play victim.
Yeah.
That's the last thing. Like, you should not get your mind there. You're not a victim. You have the choice. You have been given the choice. Don't constrain yourself in your mind, thinking that, oh, I have no freedom. I cannot speak up. I cannot do this. Instead of turn those no's into positive sentences. Say, I can do this. I
Yes.
will. Things like that.
That's absolutely true. We all are the writers of our own stories,
Right.
and that's well covered. And moving forward to the next question about, job seekers. It's been a very tough time for everyone, especially for the job seekers. What tips you have for them to stay motivated and to help them keep going during this tough time?
So for job seekers, especially, if you're looking for a new job, or you're changing jobs, or you're unemployed, you still need to. I'll go back to the answer of, you still need to have a routine. Do not let a routine go away from your life. Okay, so make sure that something that I am really passionate about is journaling. Start your day with journaling. Imagine what your future job is like. What are you looking for?
Yes.
Write everything down. Do your research. Keep networking with people.
Yes.
Talk to them. Uh, Not just a hi, hello, like talk properly, right? Respectfully. Ask questions. Do your due diligence. If you need some skills that you need for that certain
Yes.
job you're looking for,
Yeah.
then work on it. Seek out help with your resume or cover letter that's needed. You just make sure that if that is your goal, then put everything 100% towards getting that goal to your reality. It may be so that there are 50 jobs out there. Take your time going through each application. Don't make the mistake of 10 applications in
Yes.
one day. Don't do that. Take your time and talk to people, gain the knowledge, keep on journaling. Um, this is what I want. This is how I want my life to look like. This is what I want my job to be. These are the positions that I'm interested in. Do your research on the company. LinkedIn is such a huge platform that you can
Yeah.
connect with recruiters, HR personnel. There's just so much. If you want to look out, you can find a lot of answers. So instead of getting depressed or feeling that, oh, I have applied for 100 jobs, I'm not getting anything, change the way you're doing things.
Yes.
You did 100 times, it
Yeah.
did not work. Now change the way you're doing it.
Yeah.
If some, like, I use this example of the light bulb, right? So Thomas Edison, he tried 1,000 times before he was
Yes.
successful.
Yeah.
Do you think he tried the same thing every single time? No,
Yeah.
he tried 1,000 different ways. And what did he do? He wrote them down. It was not in his head. So you need to journal what you're doing, what ways you are doing things. And there's so much you can do out there. You don't need to never feel sorry for yourself.
True.
This is temporary. This is a temporary time. Don't make it your whole life.
Very great points. I hope those who need them will be helpful for them. I would like to add
Yeah.
some more points from what I learned. Positive attitude, and even from the Thomas Edison story, I want
Right.
to start with this thing that you are jobless today, but your situation will change tomorrow. So don't
Yeah.
be a hopeless person. Don't lose hope, because it's easier to train aptitude than attitude. Companies prefer to hire
Mm.
self-motivated people and train them.
Yeah.
They don't hire skilled people and motivate them to perform. So regardless of your situation, it's not only for job seeking, for
Yeah.
life. You have to have a positive attitude. in the first place, because I am not a HR professional. I am not from recruiting background, but
Right.
I can proudly say I'm a professional in uplifting people. So this is the first thing all the people who are looking for jobs. I know it is
Yes.
exhausting. I know it is stressful.
Yes.
We all have been there. I have
Yeah.
been there. I've faced many rejections.
Yeah.
As we discussed before, rejections are just redirections. It's
Mm-hmm.
on us how we look at the things. Otherwise, I can say, apart from being positive, as you said, upgrade your skills if you can,
Mm-hmm.
and update your profile on LinkedIn, connect with people, show up every day, even you put something positive. Once you have that attitude that okay, you can do certain things,
Mm-hmm.
you will feel new energy in you. And then, as I said, I don't mean to discourage the skilled people when I say self motivated people. All I want to say is this is a new normal. This is a new world. So we have to try new things. And as I explained, that the rejections, which you are labeling now bad, after 1 year, I can bet on
Yeah.
this. I can guarantee that you will be happy to say these are not the problems you faced. These are not the rejections you faced. These are the lessons you were meant to be faced by the universe. And this is, I can say, and I can wish all the best to everybody. So don't lose hope. This is the first thing, because your situation may change tomorrow. You never know.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. I think you put it really well. Um, the positive side of it, right? And I do understand you're going through such pain, and in your mind you're like, I need to get a job. Like you're just like, I need to get a job. That's it. Like, right? I don't want to hear anything, all these other things. But you have to make sure that it's not about just one goal. It's also about you building yourself up to that position,
True,
and how you behave in a situation where you're not getting a job. How do you behave? Like, how
true.
is your personality at that time? Do you turn into somebody else? So you need to be
Yeah.
mindful of how you are conducting yourself during that time.
No, that's true. Don't rush to label the things. Right now we are in a different world, and I encourage everyone to be a problem solver, because
Yeah.
this world needs more problem solvers. So don't be afraid of facing the problems. And if you see the other side of this outlook is, this is a new normal and the requirements are changing. As I said, I'm not an HR professional, but I feel is you focus, as you mentioned, about the good thing, about what you can do. Maybe I'm going to talk about the people who don't have experience in the certain field, because they are changing the fields right now. They're changing the professions. And what I can tell them, the same thing. They have time, utilize the time wisely, upgrade the skills if they can. But remember, like, if you have that I can attitude, as I said
Yeah.
before, I mean, no one can train you for attitude. If you have that attitude, you can show, you can, do a good search about the company you're applying. And then at least you can find the gaps, and you can you can show on in your LinkedIn profile, what you can bring on the table, explain that in
Right.
your interview, and then you show that okay, this is what you're facing, this is the problem you're facing, and I can provide you the solution. I may not have one two three this, but I have this. Yeah, and then I think this is going to be helpful for your company.
Right, right, exactly. And always make sure you get feedback. Like, don't be afraid to ask for feedback. If they don't select you, they can still let you know what happened, right? And don't take it that, again, going back into rejection.
Yes.
If you hear a no, don't don't just focus on the no. Like,
Yes.
think of, okay, I'm going to try again. I'm going to try a
True.
different way. If this doesn't work, I'll try something else, but I'll keep on
True.
trying. I'll give up.
No, true. I want to add W to your no. No means not now, tomorrow. It may be
Yeah.
tomorrow. And no means that company may not need you today, or I can say
Yeah.
you may not be a good fit for that company. Maybe you don't have what they're looking for. So that, as you said, you keep trying the new ways to find out what is working or what is not
Yeah.
working. And as I said,
Right.
a lot of professionals, they are trying different fields, but that is
Mhm.
totally fine as long as they can fill those gaps. Again, it boils down to the point to be positive and creative. And then same thing on LinkedIn, that you upgrade your profile, you fill up all the sections, and
Very
then
important.
it's about helping the recruiters to find you if you
Yeah.
have a headline. I mean, if it is, as long as it describes you, so you grab the attention automatically rather than having incomplete file. And then it's like helping the recruiters to find you when you have everything in the profile section, and then you're showing up once a week, or even a nice one motivation null post, or
Yeah.
even you can show your side, like your personal side. So then at least once someone clicks on your profile, so he can get the idea that okay, this person is about that, what he can bring on the table. So I feel like the resume and the LinkedIn profile, it's like it is speaking for you, I mean, day and night. And your inbox can get many offers. It's totally up to how you present yourself, the packaging. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. People have maybe 3 seconds to check your profile. So if you do not catch their attention in that time, then it's next, 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 right? So you have to make sure you keep on upgrading. Seek out support. Like, don't feel like you have to do this alone. Invest in yourself. Don't think
True.
about the money. It's very important to invest in yourself. All great leaders do that. Everybody does that. It's not something that you think that, oh, people are asking me to do. No, everybody that wants to move ahead in life, they all make an investment for themselves, right? Just like you invest in a house because that's your goal. But if you want to move ahead in life and you want to grow, go to the next level in your life, then you need to invest in yourself too. You
True.
cannot get everything around you um, without any sort of an investment. And this is for your growth, this is for you.
Yeah,
So as long as you feel that there's value in what you're asking for, go ahead and do it. Yeah.
that's true. That's well said. I hope these tips will be helpful for the job seekers.